Runs Dry, Joe Hertler and the Rainbow Seekers, Underground Columbus. It's a special day here in the studio.
Very special day.
Not only are both of the PDs in the room,
Right.
but we have our very special guest, Big Heff of the Big Heff Show. Hi, how's it going?
Oh, I'm great. I'm happy to be in Columbus, and I feel really great that I have a radio show on this show and this network. So I'm great.
Absolutely, you're as a PD, you are my very first syndicated show.
Hey.
So that's always exciting, and we're glad to have you as part of the Underground Columbus family. Let's talk about the show.
Okay. Great variety show. I always kind of try to blend like some of the hit music with this great independent artists. And I co-hosted with Vanity Star, Sugar Booger, and DJ Q11. And it's just it's a fun show. It's a high energy show, and we just try to keep up on the latest topics, and we have some great interviews, and then we mix it in with a little DJ. I'm DJ orientated, so we have a little mix show that goes on into that.
How did the show? When you had the idea for the show in your head? How did it come together for you?
You know what? I'm a really calm guy, so Suge is like a big personality guy.
Right.
So
Sugar Booger. Shout out to Sugar Booger.
Yeah, he's the big voice in there. I always say you got to have one big voice, and then Vanity is the female, ideal, and she gives the female perspective on everything and how we're wrong and all that good stuff, and how men are bad and all that. And Q11, he's on TMZ all the time, so it just works. So it's a good, fun vibe, and I give my industry perspective on a lot of stuff, and then it gives me a chance to play some good music.
Absolutely. You speaking of music, you have a book that's coming out here really soon.
Yeah. So me and my guy Brian, he co-wrote the book with me, and it's called Making It in the Midwest. So I just wanted to give a perspective for up and coming artists on things that they should do, steps they could take to have a good, successful, long-going career in the music industry.
That's great.
Yeah, we definitely know artists out here in the Midwest way different than the East Coast or the South or the West Coast.
Yeah, it's a different struggle because there's not a lot of opportunity in the Midwest, and for the people that do make it, they're oftentimes some of the most successful artists that's in the music industry. So I just wanted to give kind of like a how-to guide for them to make it, some of the steps that they can take, and then I'll actually handle them on the business side, like some of the things that they need as well, because sometimes they'll have great music and be a great artist, and the industry might rip them off a lot. So we just want to stop those type of things from going on.
When you started listening to and finding talent, was there a time in particular that when you're listening to music, when you're listening to singles, that the person's got it?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm a big performance guy, so if it's a new artist and they can really open up and develop a crowd, and they just have a little bit of that extra oomph or that star quality, then you just know it's definitely a good feeling, and you just want to be a part of that wave and that success story.
Mm-hmm. Do you prefer finding talent at events and seeing them perform live, or do you like to grade their work first and then maybe go observe them live before approaching them to say, hey, I might be able to help you grow as an artist?
Yeah, second, like I just want them to do a little bit of research first, and then it's like a lot of times you could just fill in the gaps, because a lot of steps they may have kind of jumped over when going through the whole process. But I like if it comes from a DJ or something like that. Like I had an artist this year by the name of Lil Cray, and my friend DJ KY brought him to me, and then within 4 months we had a single deal with E1, so it was really nice.
What's an artist that even now you remember the first time that you heard their music?
So many stories. I remember I used to work at Shady Records, so when I was on the anger management tour, and I listened to Obi Trice's music for the first time, and just the storytelling and just a different voice, and he came with, like Eminem was like a battle rapper, which became a mega superstar, and then you just had somebody who was just gutter and street, and you could just tell the difference right then and there. It's like, oh, he's gonna be different. He's gonna be different. You're gonna have to market him a little bit different. He was like the label's version of Beanie Siegel at the time.
Okay.
Now, I know we know you're in town for the Big Heff tour.
Yeah.
And you do this annually, about 4 times a year, right?
4 times, yep. Once a quarter.
Once a quarter. Can you tell everybody the importance of getting that tour experience?
It just shows you when, where, and how your music can work in different markets, and then it's just developing a support system for these artists throughout a network and throughout a music network. So not only do they have relationships with one single, but it might be for an album, it might be for the next single or the next video. So it's very important that artists, a lot of times they make music and their music doesn't work 90% of the time. So it's really telling you like, hey, this is the climate that fans will be receptive to your music. This is what you need to make. This is where it can work at. Some markets might be good for Stromae. Some markets might be great for collabs. So it just shows when and where and how that your music can work when you're actually putting it out in the world.
When you've put the music out in the world and maybe a single catches on or an EP or an album catches on, and then you get to something like award season, is it a situation where you're wanting to see them do well at like a local event? So the Ohio Hip Hop Awards are coming very soon.
Yeah, this weekend.
And
you know what, I always tell artists, don't let that be the gauge, but if you put in that body of work where that you are acknowledged, you are nominated, you are recognized, then let's go for it. Like I don't want to call myself a trophy whore, but we want to celebrate those accomplishments as well. So
absolutely. Who of the artists that you're working with are you hoping to see win something at the awards this weekend?
I think it's going to be a big year for Ray Jr. I think that, especially at the Ohio Hip Hop, I think Lil Craig did a lot of good stuff this year. Rip Flames is another guy. I like Lantana. I like the guy from Columbus, Jarreau. I think he had a magnificent year this year.
Had a great year.
And, I never seen how much a Instagram post can really affect somebody's single, but it got
one post will make you if it's the right person.
If he definitely impacted his thing in a crazy way where it got him radio play and it launched his whole campaign off of that. So it was really crazy.
Right. So this year, can you guarantee that I'll get my award finally after what's it, the 12th year? What year is it?
It's going into the 11th.
11th year.
It's 11th year.
I'm like the Susan Lucci of the Ohio Hip Hop Awards.
I'm sure they'll really love you one of these years, Dami.
I'll never get it. It's all good, dog. I mean, we've been there since the beginning, though, man. I'm proud, like, me and Heff, we go way back. You know what I'm saying? He was at Shady. I was working in Atlantic doing street team work, and we just ran into each other at the Obvious. And from there, it was just...
Yeah, we've been rocking ever since.
As a PD, that's one of the things that I'm really starting to enjoy, because in my experiences, it's been primarily on air and then a little bit in promotions, and being able to interact with the musicians is something that I'm really enjoying, having that experience. And
you're about to have a lot of best friends.
Well, I know that. I mean, it's funny. What? Oh, all right. So for me, I know there was one of the very first submissions that I got was from an artist. I won't say the name just in case. But I remember when you're trying to deal with like clean music versus it not being clean, and it was such a catchy tune, but it wasn't clean. So when you tell, do you like to have the music radio ready when you receive it, or do you just like it in the album form?
Well, I always tell artists that to make sure that they do a clean version like ASAP. So as soon as like, hey, this is a single that I'm putting out, do a clean version. Why I got to do a clean version? It's going to be a street single because we don't want to limit ourselves and where this music might end up. So one of the craziest stories is Young M.A., who has one of the hottest songs in the country right now. It was she thought it was just going to be a little mixtape song, a little mixtape freestyle, and it's charted at number 30 right now in the whole country.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so a good clean version can definitely open up some doors.
Always helps.
All right, last thing, because you brought it up. The Bone Thugs 20th anniversary?
Yes, man. Listen, when I was first trying to get into the music industry, I used to call Bone every day, like literally every day, probably two or three times a day, just trying to intern for them guys. And then over the years, I worked a couple of their projects. We helped put together some projects, and we actually became friends. So a couple years ago, it was for their debut EP. I did their 20-year anniversary, so they called me again today this year, and they said, "Hey, this is the 20-year anniversary of the Art of War. We're coming back home. We definitely want you to be a part of it." And I'm really happy. Just like I said, I'm a fan of the music as well. So not only just rooting for your friends to keep winning and so forth. They've been touring for 20 years straight, which is awesome in the music industry when most people don't last a year and a half. But Bone Thugs Harmony is at the Odeon Nightclub in Cleveland, their 20-year anniversary of the Art of War. And, I think that I'm going to try to get them to perform like the Tupac and Bone song 2 or 3 times that night.
Oh. So it's 20. Is it 25 years for Creeping on the Come Up?
It is 20. Well, what their plan was 94, I think it came out, right. 93 or 94. So their plan is to, after 25 years, they're eligible to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Oh, of course.
So that's the plan.
There you got. We got a spoiler right there. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, but
it makes
sometimes
sense.
you go like, man, that did. Oh, well, they're eligible. You know what I'm saying? So I think Run DMC and Beastie Boys, they have a big display inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's in Cleveland. So I think it's only fitting and it's only right.
Absolutely.
I think the one thing that was really great about the NWA movie is it kind of stamped them and let people know that, like, Easy was really a part of the whole Bone, putting that whole situation and getting it together. And then, so that was a really positive point for them. They felt really great that they included them in the movie.
Right on. Well, if people don't already follow you,
Yeah, no, go ahead. No, I was about to say the same thing.
Okay, yeah. If people don't, if people don't already follow you, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, listen, on Twitter, it's BIGHEFF. On Instagram, if you like to see it in a picture format, it's Big Heff Midwest Fresh. I represent the Midwest really well, so keep up to date with the latest music news. And then on Sunday, you can catch me at 6 o'clock on WUDG. And, follow them on their social media handles, too. Underground Columbus, WUDG.
Thank you so much for joining us. He is Big Heff.
Big Heff Show.
Tommy Styles. I'm Ryback. You can catch Big Heff Show 6 to 8 Sundays on Underground Columbus. See you later.
WUDG.
Columbus.
Always streaming live at undergroundcolumbus.com.